Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, civil rights movement Not In My Name is calling for the chemical castration of men who rape children. This following the rape and death of an 8-day-old infant, allegedly by her father. According to reports, he has been arrested and charged. The organization is also calling for legislation that sexual offences against children be viewed as a capital crime punishable by death. Not In My Name spokesperson Mo Senne joins us now virtually to tell us more. Mo, thank you very much for your time. Of course, in South Africa, unfortunately, you hear about these kind of stories all the time, heartbreaking stories all the time. But tell me a little bit more about your call for a death sentence when it comes to such crime.
Hi, thank you so much for having us, albeit of such gruesome circumstances. So the World Health Organization estimates that globally up to 1 billion children have experienced physical sexual abuse in the past year. And in South Africa, 1 out of 5 children are victims of sexual abuse. So the data might also not be reflective or a true reflection of the impact, and this is owing to the lack of reporting, especially when the perpetrator is known to the child. So we are moving or suggesting that sexual offences against children in South Africa be legislated as a capital crime, punishable by death or through chemical castration, because South Africa has one of the highest rape statistics in the world, with an estimate of 115 rapes per day. And whilst we acknowledge the power dynamics behind rape, that this is not preventative in nature, we're also of the opinion that correctional services budget is being wasted on resources to rehabilitate people that can't and should never be reintegrated back into society.
All right, so that would mean that you're saying we should change our constitution then?
Yes, definitely. Pedophiles' rights need to be limited significantly in the interest of justice and in the interest of children whose lives they impact for all eternity. The argument then becomes, what about people who have been wrongfully accused? So I'm not here to argue hypothetical circumstances. In this particular case, the father walked in with the child naked and injured. So there's no hypothetical circumstance right now that's going to make me take back this call. We all have wild imaginations. I can also come up with a hypothetical circumstance to say that this should happen. And there are several cases where it's clear as day, such as this one, that the perpetrator is guilty of the crime. So what about those then? So the onus must be on them to not be in situations where being wrongfully accused is even a scenario.
Tell me a little bit more about this particular case. Are you involved anyhow as Not In My Name?
No, Not In My Name is not taking up this case. I think that we normally get in when no one is talking about something, we want to highlight a cause. Right now, we're looking at more of a policy and constitutional matter. Going forward, what can we do as a country? What can we do to amend the same laws that are designed to protect the perpetrator before the victim? So we have the opinion that the people who are taking care of this case will see it through. If not, yes, Not In My Name will get involved.
So obviously your call for chemical castration and for capital murder, which is punishable by death, is obviously to try and deter such crimes from happening?
Yes, and also to just not, when I say that we're wasting state resources trying to rehabilitate people, do you know that some of them even go live on TikTok? The party, correctional services is not designed to rehabilitate anyone. Nobody fears going to jail. In fact, some of them want to stay there because it's so much better, like a paid vacation for everyone. You have tax money that's funding all of that. It is not helping at any point. It's not even deterring the same behavior. I read about a story. It may not have happened in South Africa, but it's still relevant to the case. This guy got sentenced to 25. He comes out and then tries to stalk children and lure them to rape them again. This was recorded on video. He even admitted to say, yes, I did rape. Yes, I went to jail for 25 years, and he raped a 4-year-old. 12-year-old and an 8-year-old child, only to come out and want to rape a 14-year-old child. So correctional services or the system as it's designed to protect sexual offenders is not enough. People need to understand that their actions have repercussions. And if they want to behave like wild animals, that's exactly how we need to treat them.
All right, Mo, thank you very much for your time. Hopefully this is a conversation that could be had at a much higher level, even Parliament and maybe even the Constitutional Court to be involved, because you're not the only organization that is calling for such to happen in South Africa. That is Not In My Name spokesperson Mo Senne speaking to us there.